live.
All right. Somebody tell people that we're live, and maybe if somebody hits notifications for some reason, but
yeah, we're pre-live. Maine and Mulberry.
Pre-live. We're doing some testing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Well, and we have a cameraman with Keith today, as he's going to drive around and show folks what's going on around town. And one of his guys with the camera is with him as he drives and focuses on that. The cameraman will show you what's going on around town.
Yeah, look at me. Not holding camera. No one. We're all good.
Yeah, we will continue to emphasize that as things unfold. Looks like a beautiful day in Collierville.
It's nice for sure. It's a little chilly out, but I'll take it. You know, it's gonna not stop until April.
Yeah,
May.
No doubt.
So we let people join. We're gonna kind of drive around. I'm thinking about maybe John starting kind of industrial, going down maybe Progress Road, talking a little bit about that, going backwards toward where these new developments are coming.
Perfect.
And let you steer us a little bit as well.
Yeah, there's my barber to the left. The club. I love that little place.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool Christmas.
My wife
in Collierville that's coming.
It's starting. In fact, the tree lighting, Keith, is next Tuesday night. All the activities start at 5:30. The Pages, who everybody knows around town, you probably have seen them at the Arts in the Alley and other places. They were at the tree lighting last year, but the Pages will be providing the entertainment, and that starts at 6. And I believe Santa makes the scene at 7. But all the activities on the square, the traditional tree lighting is next Tuesday. Starts at 5:30. I know a lot of our citizens enjoy that and kind of think of that as the official kickoff to the holiday season in Collierville. So that's going on next Tuesday. And then on that Friday night, I believe it's December 2nd, is the parade, which runs up and down Bahalia from, I think, White Road all the way down to the old high school. So you've got two of our biggest holiday events happening close together, with tree lighting on Tuesday and then the parade Friday, December 2nd. So here we go.
Are you doing any MC?
I will be helping facilitate activity at the tree lighting on Tuesday, and Melanie and I will be doing our Regis and Kathy Lee impression at the Christmas parade on that Friday night, December 2nd. I think Maine and Mulberry, Stax Media, it all needs to have a float in the parade one of these years.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we kind of like the sidelines.
Hey, you're coming up.
At some point, we got to join. Right?
On the right there, a lot of people don't realize, but Choate's Heating and Air Conditioning, an old family business that's been around Memphis for a long time. A lot of people have utilized their services over the years. They've taken over that old Phillips Bodine building, which was a group that made emergency lighting. And now it's the headquarters for Choate's. They've got a showroom on the square, but that's where their vehicles, their warehouse, training offices are. Choate's sort of a new industrial partner in town, and they've done a nice job of kind of keeping that building up to spec. And we're glad they're here. Great brand. Great location, an asset that was empty for a little while before they came in and took it back over. It's always good to see.
John, I'm cutting out a little bit. If you can introduce the show, keep walking us through.
Folks, welcome to another edition of Maine and Mulberry. It's a show where we talk about Collierville, which is I'd say it's a little power suburb in West Tennessee, about 45 minutes southeast of Memphis, a town with a lot of great assets that sort of go beyond the size of the town. We're about a 55,000 population community, but it feels like It's much bigger than that because of the assets we have in our community and how we're organized. So we get together once a week with Keith Essery, who is the owner of Maine and Mulberry, Stax Media, the Tour of Collierville people. Typically, we have Vice Mayor and Alderman Maureen Fraser with us, and I'm John Duncan. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the town of Collierville. I try to recruit office, industrial, and commercial users to town. So we've always got a good show, a show that's going to provide folks with a lot of information about what's going on in their community, a community that a lot of people love, and certainly a community that's on the rise and continues to strategically grow. And right now, Keith is driving with a cameraman next to him, and they're sort of in the older industrial part of town with a lot of great assets. Things continue to get renewed down there as people buy buildings and relocate businesses. So the old traditional industrial part of our community is healthy. And then where Keith is getting ready to go now is sort of the newer industrial part of town, which pretty much sits at the crossroads of I-269, which is part of the I-69 highway system that runs from New Brunswick, Canada, all the way down to Brownsville, Texas. And the center point of the I-69 highway system is Collierville, Tennessee. And we know of 269 as our part of 69, but 269 sits at the crossroads of US 72, a road that runs into Mississippi, and also SR 385. So we've got a very strategic location in town. And for the industrial user, our community sits at the crossroads of 269, 385, and 72. And we've got about 300 plus acres of developable industrial land down there. And Keith is passing by some of that right now on Progress Road as he heads south toward Shelby Drive. And this land on both sides of him right now is industrial zone land for warehousing, distribution, showroom, light manufacturing partners to come to town. And he's going to pass under 269 here in a second. And right beyond this underpass, you'll see one of our biggest industrial partners in CCO Label. CCO Label is a Canadian-based, worldwide printer manufacturer of label, packaging, printing type products, labels for food, beverage, candy, confection, industrial products, insecticides, easy for me to say, pesticides, things like that, as well as drink, the Gatorade, all the energy drinks. CCL's here on the left. And right now they've got about 200,000 square feet of printing capacity, water-based digital printing capacity. This plant right here that Keith is showing right now is their newest facility. It's a 85,000 square foot digital label printing facility. And recently, CCL has bought more land just to the south of this building. They bought another 14 acres where they've got plans for a third building, which will ultimately bring them to about 350,000 square feet of printing here in Collierville. There's Kim Station, a locally owned business. Roy Brown and his people make a cleaning solution that they sell to food manufacturing. They've got a large market in West Tennessee, Southern Missouri, Eastern Arkansas. So they're basically blending and making a detergent or soap type product in there that cleans food products. And they've been there about 5 years, and they're good people. They've got a nice privately held, thriving business. And as we continue to go south on
John,
Progress,
all this, John, all this area is designed to be able to have commercial and then head this way, trucks coming through town, right? I mean, that's part of the town plan.
Right. This is all zoned different types of industrial zoning. We would never really promote or recruit industrial users that are, polluters or, 800 trucks a day, or I read a lot of these proposals that'll talk about toxic waste and sludge. We would never be very interested in that. We want environmentally friendly businesses. Right here's the FedEx packaging lab. all the different types of packaging that FedEx utilizes for shipping. This is their R&D center. This is their tech center. You talk about FedEx's impact in Collierville. They've got a half a dozen facilities in town. This is one of them. A lot of people don't even know it's down there, but all of the packaging that FedEx uses and develops happens right here in Collierville. There's maybe 30 or 40 packaging engineers in there working on behalf of FedEx. Great looking building, relatively new. They've been there about 10 years. Right here in the corner is a company called Exact Commerce, and it's a warehouse. And it's basically a warehouse full of game room products, pool tables, ping pong tables, dart boards, bar accessories, furniture, things like that. Anything you might want for your game room is warehoused there. And this basically sits at the corner of Progress Road and Shelby Drive. Right across the street, if you were to pivot east, you'll see a large piece of land. There's about 45 acres right across the street, Keith, on the other corner here from Exact Commerce.
I'll come back.
Yeah, right across the street from Exact Commerce is some raw land, about 35 acres, and it's been recently acquired by a company that develops specialty warehouses. And we're anticipating a specialty warehouse to go on that corner. It's a refrigerated warehouse, different than a typical warehouse you might find down in Marshall County or Fayette County, but a specialty warehouse with specialty materials and engineering, because it's a refrigerated warehouse for the food and pharmaceutical industries. And ultimately, we believe there's going to be about a 300,000 square foot specialty warehouse on that corner, which is really exciting. And we're looking forward to that. And then as you T-bone, Keith, at Progress Road and Shelby Drive, if you look east and west along Shelby Drive, there at Progress, there will ultimately be 7 50,000 square foot warehouses, one by one, right next to each other, lining up east and west on Shelby Drive, right there at Progress Road. So ultimately, we're going to have about 350,000 square feet, 50,000 square feet per warehouses down there, showroom, shipping, distribution, single tenant, multi-tenant, all up and down Shelby Drive, because it's a great location, like I said, at the intersection of 269, 72, and 385. So there's a lot of land, there's a lot of activity, and there's a lot of things happening and a lot of things to happen sort of in this part of our community, which we call the industrial part of town. Yeah, there's the land right there where that refrigerated warehouse is planned to go. And most of our citizens have never really been down here. But when you do come down here, you can really get a sense of the opportunities, the infrastructure, and the location that we have that is pretty strong. So it looks like they're still at heading back up. There's CCL. So it looks like you've done a little U-turn and you're heading back north on Progress. He's getting ready to go underneath the 269 overpass. To the east of us, right across the border in Fayette County, there's 2 large facilities. Pyramix, which distributes protective garments and goggles and helmets and things like that, is there. And across the street in Fayette County, about a half a mile from here, is a company called Power and Tel, which warehouses and distributes electronic related components. Both of those companies are right there at the town line of Collierville and Rossville, right at the line of Shelby County and Fayette County. But a lot of those employees, a lot of those people live, dine, shop in Collierville. We wish we would have gotten them in Collierville, but for a variety of reasons, mainly some cost-saving reasons, they went right next door. But we still sort of indirectly benefit from that. So it looks like you're at, yeah, so just to the right of where Keith is right now is some industrial users in Fayette County, down that road, down Keogh Road there. So you're coming back up Progress, and to the left of where you are, Keith, a lot of people don't realize the town has, and to the left and right, the town has facilities, basically all of the services that we provide, sanitation, roads, utilities, a lot of our warehousing and equipment and town-related activities are all sort of housed and warehoused down at this part of town on both sides of Keogh, just on either side of Progress Road.
Hey,
Sound
John,
now looks
can
like
you hear me? Or
yep,
I don't know if
I
I have
can.
audio.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Probably
And
talking
then
too much, but
it's,
you're in the older industrial part of town
no,
right
this
now, which is still thriving.
yeah, that area we just drove through. I would say opportunities for Carterville because of the way that you can build there, create jobs in the town,
Yep.
But not interrupt the typical traffic flow. It's because it's the way it's positioned. Land there that's just ready for the right person to take it, right?
There's no doubt, and you can draw from an employee base that's in Shelby County, Fayette County, Marshall County. So it's easy for employees to get there. It's easy for suppliers to drive their trucks into there, and we're proud of those assets down there because they are attractive, and we get a lot of calls on it, and we've had some success down there. And I think, like I said a minute ago, there's more to come. But even this part of town, which I would call the older industrial part of town, continues to thrive. There's Tuscan Iron Works right there. People might know them from the beautiful ornamental gating and doors that they manufacture there. A lot of the houses in town have a Tuscan Iron Works product as part of their garage or entryway or gateway or front door. They're located down there and doing quite well. Just past them is a company called Memphis Interiors. They took the vacated Pyramix. So when Pyramix moved to Fayette County, we had an empty building, but here comes Memphis Interiors, and they're a large office furniture warehouse and distributor, and they've taken over the old Pyramix building, given it a facelift, brought in their products and their people, and we continue to move on. Next door to Memphis Interiors is a company called I'm having a senior moment right now. United.
United, yeah,
Yep.
United Recovery and Remarketing. I
Yep.
think it says
United Recovery and Remarketing. I know them as a company that works in the automotive redistribution business, if you will. They've got contracts with a lot of car companies and rental companies and financing companies, and they work to move cars around the country and take possession of cars and sell cars. So it's a large call center. If you look at the parking lot there, Keith, I'm going to go out on the limb and say the parking lot's fairly full of cars there at United. They took Dave Nelson's old building. Yeah, look, there's a lot of people in town on the phones, on the computers, working for United at this facility, which is really a call center. So one company moved out, another company has moved in, and the progress continues. And like Memphis Interiors, United gave that building a little bit of a facelift, rejuvenated it, and repurposed it, and off we go. And once again, this is a part of town that a lot of people don't know about unless they live down here, but it's thriving.
I'm going to take us just through some back roads, but head over and then maybe drive around some of town and and then you can kind of tell us where some new things are coming. That's what everybody wants to know, right? But it's good to talk about the industrial because that is what the foundation is. The foundation is for all the things that we want, all the restaurants and grocery stores and all that, right?
Right, because these companies provide jobs, and these companies provide revenues for the town. They're utilizing assets that we have, and we're glad that they are here. And all these companies provide different things for our community, but what they generally are providing is a positive impact on the community, and we welcome them. You know, we're not known as an industrial community, but we certainly have some strong and abundant industrial users in our town, like I said, that provide jobs and salaries and careers for a lot of different people. And most of that is down on the southeast side of town. Right there, those assets are 269, 385, and 72. We've got a great location. In fact, we just ran an ad, Keith, that your group over at Stax Media helped us with, talking about our proximity to the new Ford electronic vehicle plant, which is 38 minutes from Town Square to the exit where Ford's going to be. We're 38 minutes away, and we're promoting our location and our assets. Anybody that might be working directly or indirectly with Ford as a place to consider as you're moving your business or enterprise to the area, or maybe you're moving your family here, we want you to consider Collierville. Are you now on 72?
Yeah, I'm on Thursday down to Houston Levee and then head back.
Yeah, that sounds good. So it looks like Keith is now on US 72, which is a road that about 5 years ago was widened, updated, restriped. It's now called the Jimmy Lott Parkway. Jimmy's a former alderman here in town, a guy that served the community for a long time, a great man that passed away several years ago. They named the US 72 road that runs from Poplar southeast into Marshall County, where all the big bomber, the 500,000 square foot and 1 million square foot warehouses are. You head south on 72 down there on the Jimmy Lott Parkway, you'll see all that. But we updated this road with a grant we got from the state several years ago to make it more receptive to the type of activity we're going to have along here. And I think that the US 72 corridor for our town is going to continue to elevate as we have land, we have the assets down there, and we certainly have the access from there as well. So it looks like Keith is getting on to SR 385, heading west from US 72. And 385, once again, we talk about what is Collierville. Collierville's many things, to include a regional hub. And one of the reasons we are a regional hub, and that helps our community in many ways, is we've got these assets like 385, which can bring people to our town from all over the region. And for years, a lot of people, they worked in Memphis, had to head down Poplar Avenue or Winchester to get to work. Head down Poplar, Winchester, get to 240 to go to work. Now we've got 385, which has really opened up our community, made it much easier for not only our friends to come out here, but the folks that live here to go to work as well. We have some of the, Memphis as a business community has some of the shortest commute times in the country. And one of the reasons for those short commute times, which is very attractive to industry and businesses, is because of the assets we have, to include 385.
This video?
I've launched. I can hear you. The only thing I see on my screen right now is me, but I can hear you. It sounds like you're still on 385 heading west.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off
toward Byhalia and Houston Levee.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off the Houston Levee. We'll see if we can get video. Engineers, go out and come back in. Can you?
I can hear you. There you go. I can see you now. It's like you're still on 385 heading sort of west. Looks like you're going about 63 miles an hour, which is perfect, 2 miles under the speed limit. I appreciate that. To the left or south, you probably already passed where you can see the Collierville High School. Have you hit Byhalia yet, Keith, or you passed Byhalia?
We passed Byhalia. Come on.
You're coming up on Houston Levee. And, once again, a emerging corridor for our community is the Houston Levee corridor from Shelby Drive and Carriage Crossing all the way north to Wolf River Boulevard and where Houston High School is. And it takes you further towards St. George's, which is located in Collierville, and Briarcrest High Schools. A lot of people forget that right there at Houston Levee and Wolf River, you've got three premier schools in Houston: High School, part of the Germantown School District; Briarcrest Private School; and St. George's, a private school located in Carville, right there, sort of at that Houston Levee and Wolf River Boulevard intersection. But the Houston Levee corridor is emerging. A lot of commercial activity between Winchester and Wolf River Boulevard, but certainly a lot of activity between Winchester and Poplar Avenue. A lot of our great restaurants and retailers are located down there. Jim's Place Grill, Cargill Commissary is there, the new Tacos for Life, Longhorn Steakhouse is there, and the new Stack's Pancake House will be going in there at the sort of southeast corner of Houston Levee and Poplar. Landers Ford, Huey's. A little further north is the Farms at Bailey Station development. So a very active corridor. And it looks like Keith is making a right to head north on Houston Levee. To his left, that large piece of land right there at the northeast corner of Houston Levee and 385 is where Jason Cruz's mixed-use development, the Park, is going to be located. Mixed use meaning residential, office, assisted living, and senior living, some out parcel restaurant, doctor, dentist, lawyer, orthodontist, therapeutic, rehabilitative type facilities, sort of planned community with a lot of different types of uses on that northwest corner of Houston Levee and 385. That's what Jason Cruz is developing. And up here on the right, at some point in a second, you're going to see the headquarters for Orgel. Orgel is a large, nationally known hardware store distributor and consultancy. I think they've got something like 1,700 clients, all in the hardware business, and they distribute to and consult with those types of businesses. But Orgel is up here on the right with the new corporate headquarters. It was 120,000 square foot, 350 jobs plus corporate headquarters, which is right past these trees. To the right, as we pass the intersection at Bailey Station, to the right is where the FedEx World Technology Center is located. 1.2 million square feet of office space. At any one time, 2,500 employees. All the IT tech folks for FedEx work at FedEx World Technology, Bailey Station in Winchester, a large, beautiful facility. So right past this tree line on the right is Orgel. That's a 120,000 square foot building, 4 stories. There's probably 350 to 400 people working there. And they've now been there about 3 years. And they moved from Memphis to Collierville. And because of their location and because of the land and the assets and the infrastructure there, you're going to continue to see activity and growth and development along the Houston Levee corridor between Shelby Drive all the way up to Wolf River Parkway.
This development up on the left is having some change, right?
The Jason Cruz development, the park?
No, I was coming up here on this strip here where Pimento there, right? I think.
Yeah, that's so. You're now at the. Yeah, they sure did. Unfortunately, we hated to see that, but Pimento's is moving on to a different location. Hated to see them go, but that was where they were located, there at the intersection of Winchester and Houston Levee. But this is a very active corridor. This is a very active commercial corridor for us right here. Between Winchester and Poplar, you've got a lot of the restaurants that I mentioned earlier, a lot of retailers, other services through here. I mentioned the Stack's Pancake restaurant will be going into the vacated Canuckins off to the right there where Keith is currently passing through.
Oh, by Jim's Place. I didn't even realize
Yep.
that that's where Pancakes is coming. Cool.
Yeah, right behind where you are right now, just on the other side of Pyro's, back there is where Stack's will be going. Great location. You know, they want visibility and density and certain traffic patterns, so you're going to get that right there. Plus, you got all these corporate headquarters that kind of surround that restaurant. They ought to do well there because of the location and proximity. So now
Do we
Keith
know
is
when?
turning. I do not know when. I think they have just begun going through the process, the development process to make that a reality. But now you're heading east on Poplar. To your left is where our good friends at Landers Ford are located. There's another retail center, village retail center there. There's some storage there. And as you continue down Poplar, which is called the Commerce Corridor of Shelby County, goes from Fayette County all the way to the river. A lot of businesses want to be on Poplar Avenue because of the location and the visibility and the density that surrounds it and that utilizes it every day. So as you continue east on Poplar, we get back into some more residential community here in town. There is Bailey Station. I believe that's Bailey Station there. And
Yes.
to your left is a new development, sort of a 55 and plus housing development. There's been some talk about some potential office buildings going there at some point in the future because that land is zoned for that and planned for that. So there's Bailey Station and Poplar heading east, and you're going to come up on the left here in a minute is Baptist Hospital. They continue to expand and invest in our town with some new facilities as part of that campus. A lot of communities, you can't really call yourself a full service community unless you have healthcare access and certainly access to a great hospital like we've got in Baptist. And we're happy that Baptist is here and invested here and continues to invest with us. And we see that white fence back behind that is Baptist Collierville, which many call the Ritz-Carlton of hospitals. Is very nice, up to date.
Yeah, I love that we have a hospital. I never want to go there.
Exactly. But I'm glad we have it, and they do just a wonderful job for our community there. And now here on your right is one of the premier mixed-use developments in Tennessee, and that's the Boyle Schilling Farm development that has been there since the mid-late 90s. And these large mixed-use developments just unfold in phases, and Schilling Farms has certainly done that. There are now 1,000 plus corporate headquarters jobs in Schilling, with Juice Plus, Mueller, MCR Safety, Helena, and now IMC, all located in Schilling Farms. And there's the two new retail pads that Boyle is developing, two 6,000 square foot retail pads right there at what I'm going to call sort of the northwest corner of Schilling Boulevard West and Poplar. The building furthest
new restaurant, right?
Exactly. The building furthest to the west, they're both 6,000 square feet. The building furthest to the west is where the new South of Beale SOB restaurant is going to be located. The indoor part will have 100 seats. The outdoor patio, which will be on the west side of that building, will have 40 seats. And then right to the west of that building there that you're looking at is going to be a new Marriott Towns Place Hotel, which will be a 103-room extended stay Marriott product. And they're taking advantage of location and the fact that you've got all these corporate offices there behind them, and there's a hospital across the street, and there's also a new senior living center across the street. So if you're coming for a corporate partner, if you're coming to visit somebody at the hospital, or you're coming to visit a relative at the senior center across the street, and you want a centrally located hotel in the center of Collierville, Marriott Towns Place is your place right there in Schilling. So the development and the continued development of Boyle continues with offices and commercial and residential. A lot of different, we talk about mixed use, a lot of different uses in one location. And that's exactly what Schilling Farms is. And Boyle has been a great partner to our town for a lot of years, and they continue to help us elevate this. And there's IMC, our newest corporate headquarters. That is a 75,000 square foot, 3-story building with 400 people in there. IMC is one of the largest privately owned intermodal companies in the country, with their corporate headquarters in Collierville. And then right next to them, we've got our good friends at MCR Safety. I mentioned them earlier. They basically distribute protective garments, goggles, uniforms, clothing. And then right across the street from MCR is Mueller, who is headquartered in Collierville. Both MCR and Mueller are 50,000 square foot offices, headquarters, with 150 to 250 people per in each of those buildings. Mueller manufactures all the stuff, as we call, behind the walls or underground, piping and tubing and flow products is what Mueller manufactures. And they've got their headquarters in Schilling, in Collierville, across from MCR, which is all then right next door to Helena Chemical, which besides FedEx World Technology Center, Helena was our second large corporate headquarters to relocate here. And Helena has over 100,000 square feet of office space in Schilling. So right there, you got IMC, MCR, Mueller, and Helena with great high-paying corporate jobs in Schilling Farms with people that live here, work here, and will frequent our restaurants and our retailers. And these corporate headquarters really have a big impact on our community. We're glad to have them. And Collierville is perfectly organized for the corporate office. So I'm trying to get a feel for where Keith is now. Looks like you're heading back toward Poplar. There's another large building on the right. That's Bank Tennessee. Bank Tennessee has about a half a dozen locations regionally, but their headquarters is in Collierville. A lot of people don't realize that Bank Tennessee is headquartered in Collierville, right there at the corner, very prominently located, very visible, great building. But that is also part of the Schilling Farms mixed-use development, and we're proud to call them a corporate partner as well.
You guys hear me at all?
Yep.
Okay. But John, if we rode through first the industrial part of town, we would call this maybe the office part of it for our corporate offices, which obviously helps all businesses with people in town, increases them every day.
Yeah, I think, we certainly FedEx and Oracle sit outside of that, but 1,000+ corporate headquarters jobs are located in Schilling Farms with a handful of partners located there. And yeah, I would say that is the kind of epicenter for the corporate headquarters partner here in Collierville. And now you're heading west on Poplar. Looks like you're coming up on Bray Station. So to the left, to the south, is Schilling and the new commercial pads that they're building, and the soon-to-come Marriott. And to the right, on the other side of the highway, is where that new assisted living senior housing facility is being built, back there in that corner. This is a company out of Michigan, and that is a significant facility coming to town. And I asked the assisted living senior housing folks, why Collierville? And what every assisted living, senior living developer and owner will tell you is these facilities come to towns that are family towns. And everything that Collierville is, the number one thing that we are is a family town. And typically people are coming here to live there because they want to be close to their kids. They want to be close to their grandkids. They want to be close to their great-grandkids. And they want to be in a safe community that offers a lot of different types of amenities. So that is the attraction of Collierville as a assisted living, senior living town.
Is there anything
And
coming
that
to the
developed,
right over here?
well, I think that's where Chick-fil-A has talked about possibly relocating. I think there's been some talk about maybe Whataburger coming somewhere there. There's a lot of land here. There's a lot of infrastructure here. This is a great location. So
when they were talking about moving, this is that area, the Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, something
had been discussions about this area here. because there's land, there's location, there's infrastructure, there's visibility, there's access. You're right there across from Schilling. Here's the senior living facility next door to the hospital. There's a Hampton Inn right there. This is a great location. And when we talk about infrastructure, that land there has water, gas, electricity, road. It's got infrastructure that all of those people need to be in business. So that is a great location. And that location has changed and has become more attractive with time based on what has been built up around it and based on the fact that it's on Poplar Avenue, which is one of the busiest commercial corridors in Shelby County.
Yeah, Poplar, and for anyone outing, this Poplar Avenue, it runs all the way to the river.
It does.
Downtown, every town on Poplar. You just don't want to go too far. If you make it all the way to Dale, don't want to go there. But short of that, you're good.
Yeah. So it's, we're blessed with Shelby Drive, Winchester, Poplar, Mahalia, Houston Levy, 385 US. We've got great infrastructure in this community. And that's one of the things that's helped us strategically grow. And that's one of the things that's going to help us sustain that growth is the fact that we've got the infrastructure that is needed to be a successful, well-planned, well-thought-out community. And when we talk to prospects, Poplar View, I know a guy that works down there.
Yeah. Is there anything coming there? Should I go on down to the next?
Not really. There is a new office building. There is a new office building there on Civic and Poplar View. I believe that's Poplar View. David Halley's building a new office building. They're kind of across the street, catty corner a little bit to Malco. There's that new office building there, which is nice. Looks really good. They're making a lot of progress there.
Any word
coming back
on Guthrie's opening? I think we're coming up on.
I think Guthrie's is opening. I think Guthrie's is opening today. So as you pass by, I think so. I thought I heard, it's not open. Matt is telling us it's not open yet. I think it's going to be open any day now, one of those deals. But Guthrie's is up here on the right. They refurbished the old Crystal hamburger joint was there. They moved out. A Witch moved in for a short period of time. Guthrie's has come in, repurposed and renovated that land and built one of their restaurants to their spec. It's a Southeastern-based company. I believe they're out of Atlanta. Highly regarded, highly thought of.
It's got a now open sign on it.
Now, are there any cars moving through there? Does it look like?
And I see a now open sign.
Well, see, I thought it opened today. So maybe they're having a soft opening. I couldn't tell if there's anybody in the drive-through line or not, but yeah, that's Guthrie's. And you're now on Market, heading north.
Pie Place open just to the right.
Yeah, Perkins is there. FedEx has a command center there. You've got Booyah's up here. ATC Fitness moved into a vacated building right next door to Booyah's. You've got the Malco Theater. Michael Lightman has great investments in town to include the Malco. Right next to Malco's Baptist has a health care center offices there. There's the office building I was talking about. And off the top of my head, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to call the bank's name out for fear that I will not say the right bank. But it's a regional bank. A regional bank will be going in there with other tenants occupying the rest of that space. But that sits right there next to Home Depot, across the street from Malco. And that's one of the things that sustained us through COVID is we've got a lot of these great big box retailers in town, Lowe's, Kroger, Target, Walmart, Home Depot, that all stayed open through COVID, and that helped sustain some of the revenue streams for the town because those facilities were open while most were closed during COVID. So that gets back to the value of having a diverse economy and the right type of users in town. That really has helped our community continue to move forward. And right here on the right is some raw land, and I think there is some aspirations for some continued development right there at Market and Civic. That's some Michael Lightman property, the same guy that owns Malco and has other investments in town. He has this land, and it's commercially zoned. So one day down the road, you'll see some commercial development go there, joining the cleaners. That's right there. And then you come up towards Mahalia, the Lutheran Church is on your right. You got the Episcopal Church across the street as you come up to the intersection of, where are we? Are we on?
We're about to be at
Mahalia and White. Am I right?
Yes.
There's the Lutheran Church there. Yeah. A busy intersection in town, but it's a non-commercial related intersection, even though I do think there could be some future commercial development to your left on that corner there that backs up to the Wingo property there at that cut through street.
Yeah, what happened
right
there, John? Another declined plan.
I think I don't really know all the details on that project at this point. I hate to comment on it without knowing fully what's going on, but this is the land where there was that proposed Ashby development, like Schilling, like the park, like the Mahalia Commons at Mahalia and 385, a mixed use development with a lot of different types of users located right here. I think it continues to unfold. I really don't have an update on it.
John. It seems like I read, John, that voted on something, turned down some apartments here in this area like Monday night or something, if I read correctly.
Yeah, I think it was on the agenda Monday night. I really don't have any feedback about what the status is, but this is where the Ashby development is proposed, which is behind, the other side of that tree line there is where Walmart is located. Panda Express on that corner. The funeral home, Carville Funeral Home, is moving to a new location at Winchester and Bailey Station. That building that they're currently in will soon be vacated, and I've been told by a lot of retail developers that would be a great location for the new use, to include a potential restaurant there, kind of the gateway towards the historic district. That Slim Chickens there at that intersection, which you're getting ready to come up on, has done quite well. And somebody commented to me the other day that our Slim Chickens has to be the nicest Slim Chickens they've ever seen. And that's kind of part of what Carville tries to do with some of these new development is work with the developer and the user to really fit in and look nice in our town.
Do you know what this is, John? I'm seeing a pending development, new project pending.
I think that's part of the Ashby. That's part of Ashby. It has to be part of Ashby.
Okay. Something's happening. This business on the left is relocating or something too, right?
Well, right there to your left is where the funeral home is, and they've moved down to Winchester and Bailey Station. So that vacated funeral home will become something else, just like we talked about so far today. Somebody leaves, somebody else comes in. So a lot of my retail guys have told me great location, great spot for a potential restaurant. So we'll see. And right across the street to your left is Slim Chickens. They've got 120 stores nationwide. And that store right there set all their records for first day sales, first week sales, first month sales. So that Slim Chickens has done well since they moved to Carville about, 6-9 months ago. But it looks nice, well landscaped, nice building.
John,
they're thriving.
John, having a background in the grocery industry, I think people overlook this Aldi, but that's a big get to have an Aldi in town. That's a big national, very.
Yeah, that's a prominent brand. Most dynamic communities across the country have an Aldi. We've got an Aldi, and Aldi's going to do anywhere between $10 and $15 million a year in sales. They provide a great product and great service to our community. A lot of people frequent that Aldi. It's a nice looking store. A lot of people don't even know that's an Aldi, but it is well landscaped and well positioned, fits in. But an Aldi's going to do about $12.5 million a year in sales. So that's a great asset for a variety of reasons for our community. Here's the Methodist Church on your left as you head east on Poplar back toward the historic district.
John, I've been preaching at that church, right?
That's the rumor. They've allowed me access to the podium and the microphone before. I don't know if they're ever going to let that happen again. But now we're coming back into the historic district. Some new houses, some new businesses in and around the square on Poplar Avenue, heading east past the square, and this road will take you right to I-269. The historic high school on your right, which has been repurposed and refurbished as the administrative offices for the Cargill school system. The University of Memphis had a campus here for continuing education and degree completion. They've moved out for a variety of reasons, to include the whole impact of COVID. So we're trying to figure out what to do with the old University of Memphis building. But there's the historic high school, which is now the offices for the Cargill administration. Refurbished, repurposed. It looks great. And that's what happens around town, be it the town doing this development or a private group coming in, elevating things and making things better. That's what happened here with new houses everywhere.
Anything else new before we kind of turn? Is there anywhere you want us to go?
Well, not really, but I'll just tell you a little further down Poplar towards 269, a new Dunkin' Donuts is going in there. So
let's go there.
Traffic, with the traffic picking up on Poplar, a lot of people travel down Poplar east to 269 every day to go to work. A lot of people come home off of 269 onto Poplar to get home. So there's working folks and citizens and people moving all around the area. And a lot of people are utilizing Poplar and 269 to get to work or to get to their house. And Dunkin' Donuts wanted to be down here because they wanted to be, for a lot of people, their first shot at a cup of coffee and a pastry every morning as they're heading to right across the street from Christian Brothers Automotive on the other side of the street from where you're looking, right there.
To the right?
To the right. On the right, there's a couple old houses there. Those houses are going to be raised right next to Christian Brothers.
Okay.
And that will become, there's the sign, that will become a Dunkin' Donuts with a location that is continuing to elevate with traffic and activity because of 269 and the fact that a lot of people go this way, going home, going to work.
Gotcha. Back towards the square, I know we're over time, but we kind of started off, we've driven through the offices and then new retail. It's coming, and so a lot of it's happening, right? We're kind of circling all the way back to Progress Road here where we started.
Well, that's symbolic that we're at Progress Road because the town has certainly experienced a lot of progress in a variety of ways, in a variety of areas, and a variety of markets, and that diverse, sustainable economy and all of that works to help this town continue to thrive. And we've got a really nice community here, and I'm proud to be part of it. And it appears that a lot of other people want to be part of it as well, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. John, as we're circling back, so feel free to close us out. And missed you this week, Maureen, if you can hear me. But give you guys a little bit of a tour of the town, and talk about new developments from industrial, office, and retail.
Yeah, it's great. Sort of symbolic that the publisher of Tour, Collierville Magazine, is part of your tour of Collierville today. But that's what we do on Main and Mulberry. Public policy is we talk about the town, and we talk about development and activity and markets and partners, everything that's going around. And Keith is a great host, and Alderman and Vice Mayor Maureen Fraser is part of that. And I chime in when I'm asked, and it's a lot of fun. And we feel like we really do a service to the community to help people keep informed about this community called Collierville, Tennessee, where they've decided to invest as well. So it's a great time, a great show that Keith manages, and I'm proud to be part of it. So listen, we will see you soon. Hope to see you at tree lighting on Tuesday night on the square. And everybody have a great, safe, joyful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Keith.